Welcome back, everybody. We're going to be doing a prediction and star rating review for the upcoming 7 cards of the Battle of the Bulge update. World of War for cards. 7 cards, all from Germany or United States. Beginning with the 989 Infantry Regiment. I don't like making videos that are ridiculously long, okay? So, for your sake, not really for mine. So I'm not going to read what every little thing does. Just read it yourself, I'm sure you can. Alrighty. This is a card with some potential for sure. 3/3 with Blitz for 3 is bad, but it's not completely trash always. And if it's the only unit you have in play, it's going to get +2/+2. So this is definitely a German control card. If you do run this in aggro, it's going to be way too bad, way too often. It's just not a tank. Most of the time, if you're running German aggro, it's going to be a tank-based deck. You'd be just making a mistake to do anything other than a tank-based German aggro. And more importantly, you're going to have units for most of the game, and if you don't, I don't think this is the kind of card that is going to be enough to come back. Leopold, now that's like a real comeback type of card. This is not that. But for control, it is good. How good is it really, though? Slapping Mare on this, Mare Nostrum, that definitely can get you some value. You're a little disincentivized from playing Volksgrenadier, the Guard, or the Could-Be Guard. There's no way you can cut Nashub. Nashub is just way too good. I mean, you could, but like, I think you're gonna regret it. Really, you're gonna regret it a lot. But other than that, you probably are only playing like Nashub, maybe Arado as your small units. And if you have those, you're happy anyway. Just because it makes this weaker doesn't mean you're unhappy. You know, you're definitely trying to drop those 1-drops anyway on 1. It's at least 3 stars from me. It's close. It could be... Okay, so here's my prediction. I can almost say for a fact there will be a balance change that will hurt US, because US is out of control right now as an ally or a main nation. And when that happens, this card and German control in general might get better. There's a lot of Brit Air right now, which German control is very, very good against, though. So if Brit Air gets nerfed significantly, I guess actually it doesn't make German control better. Because Soviet control was, before the huge resurgence of Brit Air, Soviet control was way more popular for a little bit than German control. Because it's just kind of a better deck usually, especially against ground-based unit decks. And the other advantage is that in control versus control, Soviet control beats German control the vast, vast, vast majority of the time. So, whatever. I'll just say 3 stars. Battery. This is very, very similar to Piercing Shot from Hearthstone. And that card is good. It sometimes sees play in Face Hunter. Usually only as a 1-of. In that game it does 6. In this game it's going to do 4. Now you do have less HQ health in cards. But this is an order in US. And if you're running a hyper aggro deck, you can do better than US. You can do L640. That's the only hyper aggro deck that US has is L640. But L640 is really, really bad. I think the preemptive nerf to L640 was super uncalled for. And because of that, you know, I don't see myself playing this in Heinz. You're not going to switch to some sort of US Jagro and have this. It's just not good enough. At most, this is dealing 3 to face. At most, this is dealing 1 damage to a unit and 3 to face. So, is that really better than Air Blitz? No. It's about the same, and Air Blitz is pretty bad right now. It's only used in German, France, burn. And even then, it actually was not used in the most successful lists of that we've seen. So, and this is not even a German card, it's a US card. Like, shore bombardment's pretty comparable. I guess I will give it a 2. It's probably a 1, but I'll give it 2. Okay, bypass. So this card has gotten some good reviews, some bad reviews. I'm definitely giving this a bad review. This card is... It's not that the card is terrible, it's just that the card is strictly inferior to much, much better options. And for that, I'll give this a 2 stars. On its own, it's not 1 star. In the amount of play that it should see, it will be 1 star, I want to say. This is just so much worse than Blitzkrieg. You could say, of course, that this is just intended for a different type of deck. The only time I see this being useful is as German control against, like, Soviet control. This could be some sort of big face damage to close out the game before they start outvaluing you. That's incredibly niche. In a control deck, you can't count on having the front. I mean, you don't play Blitzkrieg in a control deck. That would be so rare. And this is just the same principle. So, like I said, 2 stars, because if Blitzkrieg didn't exist, it would be a 2-star card, you know? But, yeah, because Blitzkrieg does exist, it's going to see really no effective play. Even with King Tiger, which we'll get to, it's just so clunky and just... Germany has weak draw overall, and just to... So, like, piecing together combos and, like, this is going to mess with your enigmas for aggro decks. It's... Yeah. It's really bad. 112th Infantry Regiment. Okay. This one's interesting. It's an interesting 1-drop. 1/2 Infantry, and you can buff it pretty realistically up to a 5/2. Which would be very strong. However, it's not a 5/2. United We Stand is running super rampant, so 2 health units are very weak right now. Unless, of course, you know, Chocolate Boys or something replacing itself, etc. So today this card is bad, but tomorrow this card could get better. I don't think that you have enough cards that you could replace in US Poland to include this. It is a really powerful, occasionally swarm unit when buffed, when hit with We Can Do It, which is another card that I might put on the suspect list. We Can Do It maybe should be looked at or nerfed in some way, because it is just a ridiculously effective buff for aggro decks. And it doesn't feel like it should... It doesn't feel like that was the intention, maybe, of that card. So, this card today is going to get a 2 from me. A 3/2 Infantry would be bad. A 3/2 Infantry would be bad. It would be, you know, not played. And this is about equivalent to that, I would say. I tried the Sakura Regiment in Japan, and it was bad. Or it just wasn't as good as it could have been. So, yeah. 2 stars, but this could get better when air, because, you know, little infantry like this is so bad against air, right? So maybe when air gets nerfed down, United We Stand gets nerfed, etc., then this card will be played. But today it's a 2. King Tiger. Here's our elite. Very exciting. King Tiger. 12k 4 op. This is the biggest unit in the game, other than... Well, stat-wise, it is the biggest. It is the biggest unit in the game. Wow, really interesting. How do we use this, right? 10-10. Fattest stats you can get. The huge operation cost and the huge cost leads you to think, well, you know, what if we did U.S. ally, right? If we did U.S. ally, maybe you could even bolster this. That deck is good right now. It is good right now. German U.S. It is good, but it is very exposed to, as we've already talked about, the meta decks that you know. It's very bad against, well, not very bad, but it's bad against air. It's very bad, I would say, against U.S. Poland. It's very bad against Jagro. You know, if they ever get healing in Germany, which they probably won't, it's just not their identity. If you can ever get healing in Germany, this card will get better. So you could do it in the US ally ramp, Germany. You could do this in a more typical Germany-Italy control deck. I will try it, but this text is very clunky. Also, the fact that it's 12k is very scary as well, because if this thing gets its cost increased by any method, it's completely unplayable. So, and they're not even if it doesn't get the cost increase, even if it's just credit denial, which is a deck that is in the meta game for sure. This card is just completely useless there, but it can be okay to be useless a lot of the time if, when it is useful, it just wins you the game. And this is almost one of those cards. It just does enough in one card that no matter how big and clunky it is, that it will see use. At the very least, it will see use off of Africa Core. Tournament play, I think this actually will strangely be better, because this text of only working the support line is so scary on ladder. It's like, wait, should I be moving this up yet or no? Because I feel like right now you don't want to move it up. This text is so weird, especially when we get to the next card. You move this up and it just gets killed by a Thunderbolt or something, and you're crying, man. I'm so sad. But as a comeback card, it's nice with Mare, but you know, you're not getting. It's very rare that you get to turn 12, play a card that has no impact immediately, and then not beat it against aggro. It definitely is possible if we do it with Ally Italy, and we have a lot of anti-aggro cards. It will definitely help against Soviet control, make that matchup less bad. So I'm going to give this a 3 stars. Again, when Para-C gets nerfed, that's another nerf. We need Para-C, you know, that's just considered in the general air nerf. When Para-C gets nerfed, this card will get better. Today it's a 3 for me. P47D, 25 RE. So we have a new Thunderbolt here. The big-ass bird. And it's got a torpedo attack on a plane. I like it. I like it a lot. I've tried torpedo attack in US ramp, and it is sometimes good, sometimes bad, right? Just like a lot of cards can be. This is a little bit less situational. It can also, it's worth noting, hit things that cannot be targeted on the text, because deployment effects bypass the effects of like Tiger IE. So for that alone, this card is really interesting. Killing a Cali as well. US usually has, US ramp anyway, has a lot of issues against Cali. I think this is a good card, and it will really help the matchups of US Poland and, you know, anything that buffs something in the front line. Anything, which is a decent amount of matchups. Anything like that, you know, even a Marade Tiger, whatever, just being able to straight up destroy it, that's pretty amazing. So I like that it's fast. It's faster. We saw a buff to the other Thunderbolt, but it's still a slow card. You know, it still gets bounced, and you're really sad or annihilated. Worth noting that this is 6k, so it cannot be annihilated. I'm going to give this a 4 stars. I'm going to give this a 4 stars, and it might even get better in the future if the meta slows down. So I like it a lot. 4 stars. I don't think I like this. This card is really scary. 442 Infantry Regiment. I mean, the guy just looks kind of scary. I mean, this shadow. This is classic evil shadow over his eyes. He looks like he's up to no good. 4-3 ambush, destruction. If it is the enemy turn, add a copy of this unit to your hand. Ooh, wow. This seems really strong. This is gonna get 5 for me. This is a 5 stars for me. This is a great unit for United States Poland. It's another infantry, which is more synergy with the unity of strength. The fact that it's such an aggressive unit. Like, you can carpet bombing this away and you don't care very much. You just put it back out. And cards like Patrol, those are pretty rare to see right now. And frankly, even if you do Patrol this, I don't care. The Patrol doesn't even kill it. It just gets rid of the destruction, and it's still alive. Like, that's fine. It's not even a counter. It's just a necessary answer. So the only way you really deal with this is by controlling the front line so that they have to attack into you, so that it gets destroyed on their turn. But you just put this in a really, really aggressive deck where you're trying to control front line. And, well, it doesn't even need to be purely aggressive, but certainly the more aggressive the deck, the better this becomes. And it's like 4 attack. That's kind of a lot of attack. So it's like sometimes you just need to answer this, but it just comes right back. And I hate this a little bit. I think I hate it. It just seems so annoying. US is already so powerful right now, and this is just another really powerful tool for them. I don't think it's like a 6-star card. I don't think it will be broken. I don't think it's going to be like played in, Brit Air. But it's a crazy card for sure. And it's even 3K, so it dodges Flom and Sudden Strike, and you're definitely not going to V1 bomb this because it's just going to come right back. And yeah, this is a real pain right here, this card. I see it seeing a lot of play. Definitely an easy 5 stars. And watch out for this. I mean, we might see Confusion come back. Confusion has seen a lot less play recently. Soviet in general has seen a lot less play. Confusion has got me confused. I don't know how it's going to work with this because this game has a ton of inconsistencies, but it should just straight up destroy it. If you control this, attack into something, it should just be destroyed. But if the Soviet player gets a copy of this, then wow, that's broken. Confusion's going to be like a godly counter to this if the Soviet player gets a copy. I don't think they will. It shouldn't work like that, but who knows? So, wow, really, really, really good card. And that is it. That wraps it up. It should be pretty impactful. We're going to see maybe a little bit of this guy for some German control. We're going to see probably King Tiger in that German control deck. We'll see the Thunderbolt and Ramp. And we're going to see a lot of this guy in a lot of different types of decks, the 4-4-2. So overall, strong cards. Nothing was straight up trash. Nothing was straight up trash. This battery and bypass might end up being trash, but they should occasionally annoy you and get a win out of nowhere sometimes, maybe. So thank you for watching, everybody. Peace out.